This is Radio X.
From Global.
It's time to celebrate one man. A man who has been there and seen it all. And now, it's finally time for him to take center stage. Live on Radio X, it's Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Yes, it has arrived. Just got 9 o'clock, Monday morning, Bank Holiday Monday. Hello there, Toby Tarrant here, and I am joined by the one and only Bonehead. And morning, Bonehead, you enjoyed that bit of production there very much.
I did enjoy it, but first things first, when you said it has arrived, the bank holiday or me?
No, you.
Off to a bad start, Toby. You know, innit? It has arrived. You know, 1 minute it's the man, the myth, the legend, and then it's like, it has arrived.
Well, do you know what's funny?
What is it? The bank holiday or me?
It's Bonehead's Bank Holiday. It's the whole thing. It's the whole package.
It has arrived.
It's arrived.
The package has arrived.
Well, do you know what's funny, right? So me and Bonehead have never met before this morning, right? We've been hanging out this morning.
Like a house on fire, aren't we?
But I didn't know, when I first saw you in reception when I got in this morning, I didn't know what to call you, because Bonehead feels quite impersonal first time you meet somebody.
Yeah, but if you called me Paul, I wouldn't have looked.
Yeah.
That's straight up. You know, if you'd have been like, Paul, I'd have been like... you know, ain't me.
Well, also, because of my stupid posh Surrey accent, I've been getting some stick this week from the Manx on the text, because Bonehead sounds good in a Manx accent, but when I say the H, I say Bonehead. It doesn't sound as cool. So I
quite like Bonehead. It's all right.
Okay, it's a bit more
it's not right, though. It's Bonehead.
Yeah, it's Bonehead.
See, but you've got two voices. I've been checking out because I spent the last hour and a half with you now, talking. Yeah. And you've got this non-radio voice when you were sat down there on a coffee and sat in here chatting, and it's like, that's probably the... Listen, listeners, he doesn't talk like this. This is the radio voice. I talk like this. I'm me. I'm genuine. But this guy here you're listening to is not the Toby Tarrant I've been... He's got two voices. He switches into radio.
See, I never thought I had a radio voice, but
now... You're the same. Chris Miles, he didn't talk like that. Johnny Vaughan's probably the only one who does.
Yeah. Well, I often say about Johnny Vaughan, I say most radio presenters on air are a slightly exaggerated version of their personalities. Johnny Vaughan's the only person I've ever met who has to calm it down for radio.
Yeah, he's a nightmare, isn't he? I wouldn't. In fact, if I'd have got the email and said, Anna, we'll talk about emails later, I've got the best email. But if I'd have got an email saying, Bonehead.
Yeah.
Bonehead, is
Bonehead.
It? Yeah, Bonehead.
Yeah,
Would you like to come on Radio X? We got a plan, blah, blah, blah. If I'd have said who with... I'm not trying to make out I like you, but I'm joking. No, but if they'd have said, will you come on and do a show with Johnny Vaughan, I'd have been like, hang on, I'm going to have to think about this.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Because I think he'd kill me. He's one of them people, isn't he? 2 hours later, you're like, get me out of here.
Do you know what? I was discussing this morning, that, you wouldn't think on paper that you and I, are necessarily too similar. But actually, in reality, very similar, because you were a part of this institution, Oasis. I'm a part of this institution, Radio X. You were sandwiched between two huge personalities, huge egos in Liam and Noel.
Yeah.
I'm in the sandwich of Chris Moyles and Johnny Vaughan, but also, without you and me, that institution falls apart. Everyone knows we're the brains and the backbone of both these institutions.
Tell him, who was? who was the biggest ego in your... Who was your Liam? I know who your Liam was out of Johnny and Chris.
I would say Johnny's Liam and Chris.
Absolutely, yeah. Liam Gallagher is Johnny Vaughan. One and the same. You know that?
Do you know what? When Liam's put on with Johnny...
it could be Liam Gallagher doing the Johnny Vaughan show. If you didn't have cameras, it's just Liam putting on a Johnny Vaughan voice.
Yeah.
They're the same.
When Liam's been on with Johnny, there is a meeting of minds there. There's a mutual...
Meeting of mouths. Like, shut up. Shut up. It is, isn't it?
It is. It is a fascinating watch, Johnny Vaughan and Liam Gallagher. Well, we have got Bonehead until 11 o'clock, and if you've got any questions, tweet us at Radio X with the hashtag Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
I was getting paid till 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this is commercial radio. We can afford it. We'll pay you for another hour. It'll be fine. Don't worry, mate. You can send us a text, 83936 as well. But yeah, use that hashtag Bonehead's Bank Holiday, and you can email Bonehead boneheads@radiox.co.uk. We'll discuss that email address in a few minutes.
I want it. I'm bringing that back home with me. I'll buy it off you.
It's so good. You can have it for free, Bonehead. No one else is using it. No one else is going to use bonehead@radiox.co.uk.
Aren't they? That's it. I thought everyone would be fighting over it. Can I have that email? You know, like going up to the executive director. Can I have Bonehead's email when he leaves? Nobody wants it.
I've just realised it must have a password. I'd love to find out the password.
I'm only here till 10 now.
We're also playing loads of Oasis tracks, you'd imagine, and some tracks that Bonehead has picked out as well. But it is Bonehead's Bank Holiday until 11 o'clock this morning. Kicking off the show, Oasis. Remember them? Live Forever on Radio X.
Maybe I don't really want to know how you got.
Had to be done, didn't it? Oasis, Live Forever. Kicking off Bonehead's Bank Holiday. If you just tuned in, the man is here. It is here.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
The man, the myth, the legend, and now just known as It. How are you, Bonehead? How are you, sir?
It's all right. It's all right, yeah.
So that Live Forever, so is that true? The rumour is, the myth is that that's the first Oasis track that Noel ever played you.
Yeah.
And you thought it wasn't an original. You thought he'd stolen it or something, didn't you?
I think you could probably say most songs that Noel had come in and he'd always sit down and play a song on an acoustic guitar, or if we were in a rehearsal scenario, he'd plug his electric and go, look, I wrote this song last night. You know, and he'd bring it in and saying, this is how it goes. And you can say it for sort of every song he brought in, because every song he brought in was Live Forever, you know, rock and roll stars, cigs and alcohol, it's like, and he went on. And I was always like, you didn't write that. Like, you didn't. I mean, I think I heard him say it somewhere the other week. Bonehead was always like, no, you didn't write that. And I couldn't believe it, because, yeah, he brought in Live Forever, and he's like, here's a song I wrote, it's called Live Forever, and he played it. So I was hearing Live Forever as a real Oasis fan. I was hearing it for the first time, as the fans out there were hearing it for the first time. You know, they all heard that for the first time, like, wow.
Yeah.
I was listening. I was like that original Oasis fan, listening to him play that song, and it's like, wow, he wrote that.
And he knew from day one, he had it in his mind that Oasis were going to be huge, right? There was never any doubts with him.
No, I don't think there was any doubts with any of us. We all knew we were going to, with the songs that Noel was coming in with, we knew that we were going to get out and we were going to be heard, and people were going to be like, wow, they're fucking... We were in the rehearsal room one day, before we got a record deal, and he came in and he said, oh, here's another song I wrote last night, and it was all around the world. So he played this epic, however minutes long anthem is, and we were just like, wow, you wrote that last night. He's like, yeah, and we're like, that's going to be great. He goes, yeah, but when we get a record deal, it wasn't like if we get a record deal, it was like, when we get a record deal, I'm going to save it for when we get one, yeah, and then we're going to get a 40-piece orchestra in, and I'm going to put strings on it, and we were like, so when we get a record deal, and then you're going to get the 40-piece. It was like, it wasn't like, wouldn't it be nice if we got a record deal and then we could possibly put a thing on it? It was like, when? Yeah. We will. You know, and that was his vision. It was like, didn't go wrong, did it?
And that track, Live Forever, is the reason you're here with us today, because... So it was voted #1 in our Best of British, right? So we did the vote a few weeks back, and people voted in the tens of thousands for their favourite British track of all time, and Oasis Live Forever was back on the #1 spot. And you tweeted us you weren't happy with that decision.
I know, and I'm still stand by my thoughts on that. It's a fix, right? Yeah, I watched Stewart's inquiry. I mean, they should have a sort of a VAR version of VAR in radio, do they?
Yeah, no,
do they, for these polls, it's like, is that poll legit? Because that one is not legit. and it got me, because I was listening to, I love listening to that, you know, the top 100, and like, yeah, and not for how many Oasis songs are in it. It's just like genuinely love it.
Yeah.
And it was getting to the top 10, and I thought, you know what, the winner's going to be Bonehead's Bank Holiday. It really is. and I was like, and it was sliding, I was like, well, here we go. And it's going to be like #2, I was panicking, I was sweating, I was thinking, it's definitely going to be Bonehead's Bank Holiday. And then it was like, here it is, #1, the build-up. I was like, can't wait for this. Live Forever, rubbish. No, I'm devastated. It like ruined my day. So I thought, I'm going to have to tweet you. So I was just about to block you, so I sort of did a screenshot of block, you know. And before that, I was tweeting Bonehead's Bank Holiday for #1, you know.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, ho, 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 from Radio X, you know. I mean, but no, it's a fix.
Well, I can only apologise. I can only apologise, but it's the listeners to blame
Toby.
for not voting for Bonehead's
Yeah,
Bank
but I
Holiday.
think the listeners did. And do you know what I might do? I might do a Twitter poll. Who voted for Live Forever?
Okay,
And
yeah.
who actually voted for Bonehead's Bank Holiday? And I'll run this poll for a week and we'll see who the winner was.
Right, okay. It might be a slightly
Well,
biased
we're up
poll,
again.
seeing as it's on Bonehead's page. Might be slightly biased. But
No. Do you know what? I'll get Liam to tweet it. How's
okay,
that? That won't be biased, will it? That'd be fair,
Neutral.
that. Yeah.
He's Switzerland, he's Austria, he's neutral. You know, we
He
can't.
won't get any. 'Cause he gets all the grannies. I think I get the legitimate Oasis fans on my Twitter feed. Even though I only got like 100 and some thousand, he's got 85 million. I think he has all the grannies who just like him because
The fair weather
he's
fans.
got nice eyes.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
The diehard Oasis fans follow Bonehead's
They do,
page. Yeah,
they do,
that's
we know
true,
that.
That's true. Now, this first track that you've picked out, so it's the Lars, There She Goes. So they supported Oasis, right?
They did support them, and the reason I chose it, well, two reasons. One, because I absolutely love that song and that band. You know, that's who we listened to. I remember me and Griggs before Oasis, we were thinking about starting a band. Me and him, we'd sit in his bedroom, we'd be playing the Lars album back to back. You know, we loved it, and the Roses. That's what we were listening to. But before I came in for the show, I thought, right, I'm going to choose some songs. I had a handful of songs to choose to play, and I thought, what can I choose? It's difficult, isn't it? Pick a handful of songs. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I was in my head. I'll pick songs by bands that supported Oasis down the line.
Yeah.
And I can say, oh, here's a tune by such and such, and they supported us here, there, or whatever. But then I thought about it, and I thought, hang on a minute, we've got the Lars, we've got the Charlatans, we've got Ocean Colour Scene, we've got the Manic Street Preachers, we've got the Prodigy, we've got, you know, we got the Chemical Brothers, and we got Corner Shop, we got Supergrass, and it's like, oh, how can I do it? And it kind of knocked me to six. Just I had to Google it in the end. List of bands that I've supported Oasis down the years, and it's like it made a list. You know, if you want a 90s festival, it's like a band.
It's not a bad lineup.
It's amazing,
It's
yeah,
not
brilliant,
bad, that.
brilliant.
Well, the first choice from Bonehead, yeah, one of the many exceptional bands that supported Oasis back in the day. Kicking off the show and his song choices is the Lars, There She Goes. It's Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Get in touch on Twitters and texts. The Lars, There She Goes, Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Hello, if you just tuned in, I'm joined by Bonehead. Do you know, every now and then in this line of work that I do, I have a sort of out-of-body experience where I realise how bizarre this job is. And I didn't think when I woke up this morning that I would be showing you, Bonehead, my backside whilst...
I didn't know what you were going to say there. I was just going to say, I'm still in a state of shock. No, mate, I've only known you an hour and a half already.
I normally wait a few hours before I do that, but...
Needs plucking.
Yeah, sorry about that. But you did ask to see it.
I'm all of a wobble. Gotta get me breath, you know.
I should probably explain why.
Please don't. Just know that I saw it and that's it.
We were
It's better explain it.
discussing the fact that my wife, my now wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, tattooed my backside live on Radio X. I don't know how we got onto that conversation, to be honest. And then Bono went, well, show us then.
Because I said, you've got a really nice backside. And you went, oh, it's tattooed, by the way. Let's have a look.
And then suddenly, a producer, Big Si, just went, oh, the song's ending, you need to talk now. And so I had to pull up my trousers and get back to the radio show. So yeah, it was I mean, that's a first. You are the first guest I've ever shown my backside to. I want that, make that abundantly clear.
It's good, but it does need plucking.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Make a note.
Well, I didn't expect it to be seen today.
It's nice, actually. It's quite smooth. Did you cream it?
Yeah, I don't, but it's quite nice, isn't it?
It was. As far as they go, yeah, it was a nice one.
Yeah.
You know, if you give me a lineup of 10, it's like, right, pick your best one out of that 10. It'd be
on the podium.
It'd be about, you could do a poll, couldn't you? Top 100.
Best of British.
Yeah, and I'll tweet in. It's like, fix, Toby should have won.
Bonehead should have
Yeah,
won.
number one,
Bonehead
Toby
should have won.
Tarrant. Yeah.
Oh, mate, well, it's very lovely to have you here. And I am sorry that I showed you my bottom so early.
Oh, I
into
like
the
it
show.
anytime. For now.
You can tweet us at Radio X. Use that
I'll see
hashtag Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Yeah, and I'm going to play a couple of tracks, and I'm going to look at Bonehead's backside, and we'll be
you're not.
back in a sec.
X. Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
Oasis, She's Electric, Radio X. It is Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
Bonehead, how are you, sir? You settling in okay?
Good, well settled now, yeah.
This has got to become tradition now, isn't it? Bonehead's Bank Holiday, same time next year.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
You'd think so.
Yeah.
If the boss has got half a brain, which, you know, we don't know if he does, but if he does, if he's got half a brain, you've got to be back this time next
I'm
year,
here.
surely.
I'll come back anyway.
Now, we've had loads of questions coming in for you, mates, and some have been recorded on WhatsApp, which you can do still. So if you go on Global Player on the app and you scroll down, there's a WhatsApp logo down there, and you can actually record a message here. So we've got a question here from Karen in Ireland. Okay, Bonehead, so...
I'm just wondering, what do you do as a little kind of a ritual, or do you have one before you step on stage? I'm just curious to know that, and it's great to hear you on the radio.
The Irish accent's the best, isn't it? It's
I know Karen from Twitter very, very well.
Do you?
Yeah, that's mad that the first question came from Karen.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. We had a massive T-Wars, or Tay-Wars as she called it a couple of years ago. I had to do a poll on that. She's Barry's
You
tea
love a poll, don't you?
It was Barry's tea or Lions tea. What's the best Irish tea? She's like a big Lions fan. Blah, blah, blah. So I love Barry's tea. Love it. So I did a poll. What was the best? And Barry's one. I got Barry's tea actually sent me a hamper. Well, a year's supply of Barry's tea and more. Giving all the advertisements.
Do you solve everything in your life with a Twitter poll? If there's any sort of...
Well,
any
it's a
fork
good
in
way
the
of doing
road?
it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But to answer the question, no rituals. I never have had one. You know, there's no nerves, no stretching, no this. I don't have to do any vocal warm-ups. No, nothing.
No nerves ever?
No, Griggs used to shake a leg. He used to have to shake a leg every time, and we all had to shake a leg for him, you know. that was Griggs' little ritual, but no.
Liam or Noel, anything before a show?
Nah.
No.
No.
Did they get nervous? Because, I mean, you know, they're out there singing. Did they ever get nervous?
No. No, we weren't a nervous band. There was no, stage fright. A lot of people get really, really nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been doing it all their life, like real established bands and artists, you can really suffer with stage fright or pre-gig nerves or whatever. But no, we didn't, no.
No.
I think we were generally too hungover. It was one of them, the hair of the dog before you go and you're right. Come on.
Hangovers are a great distraction for nerves, to be fair. Now, obviously, the weekends, you've been down in London all weekend, and you may have noticed that it was a Coronation weekend. You may have noticed King Charles and
Just
all
a
that
bit.
stuff. It was like the weirdest, dullest episode of Game of Thrones ever, basically, on Saturday. But a question here from Callum in Salford. He says, now that it's Coronation, do you think King Charlie will finally see sense and give the lads from Oasis knighthoods? Sir Bonehead has a nice ring to it. Do you reckon you're on the honours list anytime soon?
Probably got a good ring to it, but you know what? I wouldn't take it.
No?
And not that I'm anti-royal or anti-this. I wouldn't do it. Why? What for? You know, I won't even write a book. Everyone's like, when's your book out? I'm like, what book? I'm not doing one.
You wouldn't-
So someone said, would you Sir Bonehead? No. Doesn't even sound right, does it? Sir Head.
I think it sounds excellent.
Do you?
Yeah. What, Sir Bonehead?
It's not right. It's not right.
We'd have to change your Radio X email address to sirbonehead@radiox.com.
No, still not right. I'm not having it. I wouldn't have it. I don't think Liam would have it. Bet Noel would, wouldn't he?
Oh, Noel would have it.
Yeah, he'd be
Oh,
up there. He'd be
all
up
day
there. He'd have to be with the Sirs. Who else has got a Sir from the music business?
Mick Jagger.
Oh, all right.
Is Elton's got to have one.
hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got
It's all the
something.
Queens, isn't it? All the Queens, but it is.
Yeah, but it probably is those.
No, who else? There's another.
Lionel
McCartney?
Richie's got to be asking for one after doing the
Not
Coronation
McCartney, hasn't
gig.
he?
Sir Paul, Sir Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did they give away in the Beatles? What did they turn down? Didn't they?
I'm not sure.
No, they didn't, did they?
No, I'm not sure.
No,
so you don't think Liam would take it? You think Noel would?
Absolutely not. Liam wouldn't take it. No,
I can't imagine it.
Sir Liam Gallagher. Sounds good though, doesn't it?
It does sound good.
Sound good, but he wouldn't have it.
No.
I'll do a poll on that one.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio
Right. So, Bono, we got another Manc legendary band. We got the Stone Roses, which I mean, they must have been a band that you were when you first started. You must have just been absolutely obsessed with the Stone Roses.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they almost had a residency. Their manager at the time, Gareth, owned a venue in Manchester called the International Tour, I think it was called, and he owned that club. So obviously, because their manager owned this club, they played it every week nearly,
Right.
you know. And it was like a mile walk from my house. So we'd go out for a few beers on a Friday night, and the Roses would be playing. And it was just. I remember Sally Cinnamon had just been released. It just been released, and it was their new single. And I went down to see them on a Friday night. They were playing. And this record had been out. And Noel was actually there. Then I knew Noel. He was in the crowd with the Inspirals. He used to work for them. They were down watching it. It was just, I wanted to be in that band. They were that band in Manchester that everybody wanted to be in. And then they released that album, which to me is just up there with the best, you know.
Yeah, well, I remember
Love it.
Liam tweeting during my show once because I played the full 8.5 minutes of Iron the Resurrection, and Liam was just absolutely loving it. It shows what it means to still.
It does, you know. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh no, all you listen to is the Roses, the Lars." I listen to a lot more, but it's like, well, that's what I grew up with. That's when I was that age, and they were the band for me. Still are.
The Stone Roses, She Bangs the Drum on Radio X, Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Stone Roses, She Bangs the Drums on Radio X. Alison in Manchester says, Bonehead, thanks for coming in. This has been the best half hour of Radio X this year. Can't work out if that's a huge compliment to you or a huge criticism to the rest of us, Bonehead, to be honest.
Nothing, me.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
So whilst that track was playing, Bonehead just said to me, I've got a great John Squire story and it involves a cucumber. And, I mean, take it away, Bonehead.
Well, it involves... No, it's weird. It's every time I can't listen to the Roses now, or the Sea... Well, it's the Seahorses, but I can't listen to those bands without thinking cucumbers. But no, and lots of cucumbers. But I'll tell you why, right? Just to get you out of your suspense. It's back in Oasis. The Seahorse. John had the Seahorses band, and they came out to Europe supporting Oasis. They were our support band, and it was brilliant. With Chris Helms singing, and we were in Prague. We did a gig in Prague in Czechoslovakia, and the next day we were off to Berlin, I think it was, and we were due to fly. And the tour manager said, "Look, if you want, you can get the train. You know, get the train. It's a great train trip from Prague to Berlin, rather than get to the airport at 5 a.m. or something." Like, cool, we'll do the train. So John's like, John being John, he's very quiet. I don't even spoke to him. I think I'll do that too. It'd be great. So he got the train with us. So John gets on the train, but the thing about John Squire is he absolutely detests, and I mean detests, don't even put one near him, cucumbers, right? Don't even draw a picture of a cucumber to John Squire, because he'll probably vomit, pass out, palpitate. A lot, you know, it's a hospital case. Don't go near him with a cucumber. Next gig's going to be like, I need a cucumber flying. You can see it, inflatables. But yeah, he hates them. So we're on this train, and we were in the posh section, you know, the upper class, from Prague to Berlin. It was like, this is really nice. It's going to be a great journey. So it's like, all us lot, John Squire and John's tour manager, and then the guy came round for the food. You know, he's like, you know, I'm not going to do a Czech accent, but he's like, you know, here's a menu. What would you like for starters? And we're like, well, what have you got? He's like, I got a nice chilled cucumber soup. So we were like, yeah, sounds good. We'll have a cucumber soup all round. John's like, excuse me, I'm really allergic to cucumbers and I hate them. Have you got anything else? And he's like, no, just chilled cucumber soup. So John's like, starving. You know, he's like, all right, I'll pass on the starter. So he's like, well, what would you like for your main courses, boys? And we were like, what have you got? He's like, we've got lovely cucumber sandwiches, you know, with a cucumber jus on the side, you know. And we were like, oh, they sound incredible. She's really warm, you know. We're like, yeah, there's a nice chilled cucumber sandwich. You'll have that. John's like, yeah, but I just told you I'm really allergic, and I'll just come out in lumps and pass out if I have cucumbers. And we're like, that's me John Squire voice, by the way, rubbish.
I love it.
So the guy's like, sorry, that's all we've got. He's like, God, I'm really hungry now. Would you like dessert, boys? And we're like, yeah, well, what have you got? And I'm not joking, this is a real story. The guy goes, well, we only have one dessert, it's cucumber ice cream. Handmade. And we were like, whoa, yeah, send it, we'll have that. So we all ordered that. So we're all set. John's like, are you taking the mickey now, mate? He's like, have you got any cake? And the guy's like, no, just that is the menu, you know, it's a train to Prague to Berlin, it's all you get. And we're like, John's like, well, I'll starve then. So for the rest of that tour, you can imagine, you know, we were going to the caterers. Is there any chance you could make chilled cucumber soup for soup? Any chance you could do cucumber sandwiches for John on stage tonight, you know? And the whole rest of that tour was just cucumbers thrown at John, you know, he hated it. Anyway, got back off the tour, long story short, I got a buzz on the intercom at home when I was living in Manchester. It's like, hello, Interflora. So I was like, Interflora, cool, you know, flowers. For Mr. Arthur's, I was like, yeah, that's me, cool. And we had a camera on the gate, and I opened the gates, some of these electric gates, rock star, you know. So this guy come walking up the driveway with a camera, and he had a massive basket, massive. His arms were like that, you can't see, but my arms are outstretched. And it was all these incredible flowers going up. But you'd think he was carrying a a safe full of gold bullion. He was like sweating on his knees, like, oh, and I was like, I ran out and I was like, you all right, mate? What's up? And he's like, oh, I've never felt a bunch of flowers so heavy in my life. He's like, give me a lift. So I was like, oh, man. Brought him in, dumped him on the kitchen table, and he went, now it's in the floor, man, gone. I was like, that's really weird. It's like in a concrete basket. So I took the flowers off and and then there was like this paper on top. So I peeled back the paper and there must have been about 500 cucumbers. Right, so you know when you go in Sainsbury's or Tesco's, you've got the cucumber display and each one's got a little barcode on it?
Yeah.
Each one was an individual cucumber with a barcode on. So John Squire had been to my local Sainsbury's where I live and he'd absolutely bought every last cucumber in there, put it in the basket, went to Interfloor and says, can you fill that bag of cucumbers? There was no note, no nothing. There you go. So I was then stuck with like 400 cucumbers. It's like, what am I going to do? So I hate them.
So you hate them now as well.
Yeah. That was my story.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
I'd tell you what, it's a great story, and also it's far less rude than I was expecting. When you said you got a story about loads of cucumbers, I thought this could go anywhere, but it was actually very family friendly.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio.
Ocean colour scene, 100-mile high city. If you just tuned in, it is Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
Now, Boneheads, we have had lots of questions in, and you can tweet us, by the way, at Radio X. Use the hashtag Boneheads Bank Holiday. You can also text us 83936. You can send us a WhatsApp on Global Player, and there is an email address that you're very happy about, bonehead@radiox.co.uk. You said off air earlier that's the proudest moment of your life, that email address.
Absolutely, yeah. But I also said on air, can I have that email address when I come out of here today? And you're like, yeah, you can have it. No one else wants it. But can you imagine how many emails I'm going to have tonight if I take that?
Yeah, that's true.
Or am I? Is that me just being like, yeah, everyone's going to want an email? I might get home to be like 2. One will be you.
Yeah, and another one will be like some scam.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
that what a moment.
Bonehead@radiox.co.uk.
So there's the two things here today. You know, it's like one is the email address is just like that's the winner for me. But the introduction, you know, today, the man, the myth, that one, that intro you did, it was a better introduction than the intro we played walking out on stage for the BA Now tour. You know, we used to come onto that piano loop from BA Now, which was quite a spine goosebumps moment for us lot coming out of the phone box. But if we come on to that intro that you did today, it would have wiped the floor with it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well,
what an intro.
Yeah, well, we speak to Liam next time you're on tour. We can organise a nice intro for you guys. We'll sort it out.
In fact, I'll speak to Liam, see if we can come on to that Bonehead intro. Intro. We should do.
You should. You should, absolutely. We'll send it to you. Now, somebody on Twitter...
email it me. It's bonehead@radiox.
Yeah, bonehead@radiox. Get in touch.
Cheers.
Email bonehead@radiox.co.uk.
Yeah.
Ozzy on Twitter... this is a tough one here. You're going to have to do some thinking here. Says, if you could form a supergroup, who would be in it?
A supergroup, who would be in it?
Are you putting yourself in it?
Obviously.
Yeah.
The man.
Yeah, the myth, the legend.
The legend.
It.
You know.
It.
On rhythm guitar, it's it. Oh, look, it's on rhythm guitar, yes.
You putting both Liam and Noel in it?
Do you know what? You see... This is where it just caused a war. Do you know what I mean? In fact, and this is quite genuine. I've been asked this question a million times. I can never answer it, but genuinely, if I had to form a supergroup, and I'm not alive or dead, they've got to be alive, haven't they? You can't form it realistically, but I'd have to have Liam on vocals. Yeah, and everyone's going, oh God, all right, you know, really? Yeah, I would because I've played in a band with him since 92 or whatever, and it's not because he's the best mate of class in but because I genuinely would have. I genuinely think he is the voice and face for me to front a band that I was in. You know, so I'd have Liam on. I'd have to, and to shut everyone up moaning, all right, well, let's have Noel. We might as well. Alan White on drums, no, but then I'd have to have Manny on bass. It's going to be like the Manx supergroup, isn't it?
That's great.
Liam would probably kick me, but I'd have Johnny Marr on guitar too. I'd have 3 guitars. Liam's like, oh, really? Jenny Marr? I'm like, no, I would.
It's not a bad group, that, though, is it?
But drums, who do you have on drums? It's got to be Rennie.
Yeah, it does have to be, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does have to be.
It's got to be. But then you've got John Power, you see. John Power, sorry, Liam. Might have John Power on vocals. Liam can do tambourine.
Liam's been kicked out.
In fact, he can't do tambourine because he's badly out of tune. Not tune, time. His
Liam's
timing's
gone from
bad.
the front man of this band to playing the tambourine out of time.
No, he's off tambourine now. Oh, no, in fact, it's got to be John Squire, hasn't it?
Yeah, you got.
It's going to be like the guitar, all great. Liam can make cucumber sandwiches. That's his job. I'll have John Squire. I'll have. Yeah.
You got to say about Liam though, when we've had him in at Radio X, like, undeniably, they say in the Supersonic documentary, as Noel I think says, he's got an aura about him, hasn't he? He's got that swagger. He looks very good in a parka. He does rock it. He's a great front man.
Yeah, he looked at it when he was 16, walking up Burnage Lane, and I was driving past, I had my car, I was like, there's that lad Liam Gallagher. Yeah, of course he had it, yeah. He's still got it.
But he's still only making cucumber sandwiches in your supergroup.
He's not in the supergroup, no, sacked him. Sorry, Liam.
I've got a track from Liam Gallagher here, so you've picked out a load of tunes for us this morning, and this is Liam Gallagher Once, which is a beautiful track, and when you first heard it, you were blown away, weren't you?
Still. I mean, this is where I get me mojo back with Liam. He'd be like, all right, I'll let you off, Bonehead. I'm not in the supergroup, but no, I genuinely, again, this song is like, sometimes you get a song and it sort of touches you, touches a nerve, and it's like, oh, and it'll almost make you weep. I'm pretty emotional anyway, Cancerian and all that. But Liam sent me that on WhatsApp, I think, before it came out. He generally does, he's sort of in the studio. How's it going? It's all right. And he sent me once. And it's like, whoa, and then. When we're playing live, I only play the Oasis songs, or did, and just one day I was like, oh, Liam, I've got to play that song. Can I stand on stage and play once? He's like, yeah, you should do it. So I did, and to stand on stage playing that tune with him, it's like magical for me. It really is. I can just get lost in that. I absolutely love that song.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Love it.
Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Yeah.
Liam Gallagher Once on Radio X.
It was easy.
Liam Gallagher Once. This is Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Whilst that track was playing, we were just discussing that magnificent music video for that track as well.
Yeah.
Eric Cantona. That was so cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, what a song and what a video, though.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was how Eric Cantona did it all for free as well.
Apparently so, yeah. I think Eric, didn't he tweeted a video of himself, Eric, sort of lip-syncing along with a glass of champagne to Once, 'cause he absolutely loved the song too. And Liam saw it, so they got in touch with Eric to say, would you appear in this video? I might be getting it all wrong, but and Eric was just like, yeah, of course I would love to do it. And he got over, Charlie Lightning filmed it and directed or whatever, but Eric did it all for free. It's like, what's the fee? He's like, how much is it going to get? 10 grand, 20 grand? I don't know. It's like, no, I'll do it for free.
I love that.
He's like, we'll fly you over. No, I'll do that. We'll get you a hotel. No, I will do it all for free.
That's so cool.
It's just Eric Cantona.
What a legend. What a legend. Right, we're coming at 10 o'clock. It is Bonehead's Bank Holiday. We're here until 11 o'clock this morning. Keep getting your questions in.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X. Radio
X. Bank Holiday Monday with motors.co.uk. Search Motors Used Cars to find your next car. Radio X.
Yes, if you just tuned in, it is Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Bonehead is with us for another hour. And Bonehead, I haven't actually asked you yet. You've been with us for an hour. I've spoken to you off air about it, but on air for the listeners, how's your health? Obviously, the cancer scare last year, but you got the all clear. Are you feeling all right?
Yeah, no, I got the all clear. Finished treatment. I was diagnosed last year, sort of March, with tonsil cancer. So, yeah, it was a tough year, to say the least. But finished treatment on June the 24th. Then 3 months after that, I got the all clear. I'm under the care of the Christie Hospital, which is a cancer hospital there in Manchester, for the next 5 years. I'm under their care, which is, the best care. I'm being looked after, I'm being monitored, and it has gone. And I'm clear, and I'm getting back, and I'm probably 98% back to fitness, so it's good. There's been, there's a few things that I'll never get back to normal, but so what? There's things you can live with. It's like the fact is I'm clear. It's good, but yeah, it was tough year.
Yeah, and obviously, so you missed a lot of touring. So when can we see Bonehead back on stage doing what he does best?
I did. I missed loads. I missed Nebworth. I was devastated to miss Nebworth. The Etihad Stadium was devastated. All of it, So, but I'm back with Liam starting in June. Our first gig is some festival in Belgium, I think, at the back end of June. It's not massive. It's not a heavy itinerary, not a heavy schedule. He's just had 2 hips done, 2 old men, aren't we? Wheeling us on. But yeah, so it's not a heavy itinerary, which is good, probably, but Start in June. We're doing a few festivals in Europe. We're doing a Boardmasters Festival here. We're heading out to Japan, which is going to be brilliant because I've not been out since I was in Oasis. I've not been out to Japan playing, or out to Japan, or whatever, you know. So I can't wait for it. Can't wait.
Great. Liam Gallagher in Japan. There should be a documentary about that.
Yeah, it's insane, you know. There should be. It's the Japanese fans, you know. You could be in the Beatles. You get a sense that this is how it must have been to be in the Beatles when you the minute you get off the plane in Japan, you know, and the minute they're there, and they're so intense and so into it. It's unreal,
cool.
you know.
So
and,
cool.
And what a great country, you know.
Yeah, awesome. That's so cool. Well, you'll see Bonehead on stage back this summer, but it's great that you got the all clear, mate.
Yeah.
Loads of questions coming in. Tweet at Radio X, hashtag Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Email bonehead@radiox.co.uk. You can send us a WhatsApp on Global Player as well. Text us 83936. There's loads of ways to get in touch. Next up on Bonehead's Bank Holiday, Oasis, rock and roll star. Oasis, rock and roll star on Bonehead's Bank Holiday on Radio X. Sorry to chop the end off of that.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio.
God, I promise you, we played enough of it, Bonehead, that you still get your royalties for that, so don't worry. We played enough of it, so you're fine. Good. Now, terrifyingly, Bonehead, next year is the 30th anniversary of Definitely Maybe.
Don't.
I have to.
That's actually really, really scary. That's actually made me think, what am I doing in here? You know, it's time to grow up now. Just go home. Do your garden or whatever. It's like 30 years.
30 years.
How?
You can't get your head around that, can you?
No.
Now, you've been here now for an hour and 10 minutes on air, and I've avoided the question, and I think I've done well to last this long, but I've got to ask you, next year, 30th anniversary of Definitely Maybe, be a good time for an Oasis reunion, wouldn't it?
Any time would be a good time. Or would it? You see, I don't know.
Why not?
No, of course it would. Any time would be a good time. Don't ask me about it. I'm there. See that bag under there?
Yeah.
Plectrum's in there. I'm ready. I've got my dancing shoes. I'm ready. I'd do it. But is there any need? See, Liam would be like, of course there's a need. You know, yeah, do it. But it's a loaded question, that, and it's like, would you do it, Bonehead? Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Mate. Yeah.
Well, everyone always asks Liam or no, but no one ever asks Bonehead. What people never think about Bonehead and all of this.
I'm sure they do, but yeah, I would do it. But then again, you know, people have said to me, it's like, would you do it? I'm like, yeah, but shouldn't Gem do it? I'm like, well, shouldn't Gem do it? Gem was actually in Oasis longer than I was in Oasis, you know? Like, it's like, who should do it? It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's like, cause wars, couldn't it?
Yeah. That's a very good point, actually. You forget the Gem was in it for longer than you were, right?
He was.
You'd have to have an argument with him over who gets to do it, I guess.
I'm trying to get over 30 years. That's like insane, that.
That's crazy. Well, the obvious answer is you both go on tour and you do the songs that you did, first few albums, and he does the other ones.
A million people have said that as well. But reunions, yeah, wouldn't it be great if there was a 30th anniversary? Yeah, wouldn't it be great?
Genuinely, can you ever see it happening?
Never say never, I would say. Realistically, I don't know. So, when? I mean, Liam's got his solo career. I don't know.
Really?
As has Noel, you know, but it's like, but Liam said, I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. I'd love to see it.
The fans, you can I mean, you must get tweeted every single day from people.
I tell you what, it's a really hard one. Some days you wake up and think, nah, there's no need for that. It's been done. You know, it's like, but then would it be worth it? It's like, but you see, when I'm on stage with Liam Gallagher as a solo artist, Liam, and I'm playing, and I come out and we open up with Rock and Roll Star and the place erupts, and it's like, people are bouncing higher and harder than they did at some of the gigs back in the day. But then I look at that first 10 rows of people in that arena that I'm playing with Liam, and they're like 16 years of age. They're 17. You know, I just asked you how old you are. You're 31.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, you were 30 years ago.
Yeah.
These people weren't even born till well into Oasis' career, but yet they're at the front, jumping as hard and as high as they can to Rock and Roll Star. So if there was a reunion, wouldn't it be worth it for them to come and witness that band with it on guitar? No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In that sense, it'd be worth just one gig next year for those kids at the front, who are jumping and bouncing at the front of Liam's gigs.
That's a very good point. There'll be so many huge Oasis fans that never got the chance to see Oasis.
I mean, I think all the guys who had the flowing locks, but they've all got the bald heads now, me included. You know, they'll be out the back going, oh yeah, it sounds like 95 or whatever. But all those 15, 16, 17-year-olds would be singing every word and bouncing at the front. Actually watching Oasis on stage, then yeah, it'd be worth it for that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You hear that, Liam?
Yeah, Liam Noel, if you're listening, Bonehead wants it, the youngsters want it. But you can imagine, you can tweet us at Radio X, by the way, hashtag Bonehead's Bank Holiday. You can text us 83936. We've got the email address, bonehead@radiox.co.uk. But you can imagine, when we opened up those questions about a week ago and we announced this, we have had millions of people asking that question. Will it happen? Does Bonehead fancy it?
That's the question.
That is the question.
That's going to be the $1 million question. But I don't know. You're probably asking the wrong person. I wouldn't make that decision. I could only stand in the middle and say, yeah, I'd do it.
Oh, mate, well, fingers crossed, we can dream.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
So the next track that you have picked out, Bonehead, I've got the Prodigy. Breathe. I mean, what a ridiculous track. I mean, it's just an unbelievable bit of music, isn't it? Can you imagine back in the day when this first was released? Like you say, I'd have been far too young. If anyone's letting me in a nightclub at that age, they were doing their job terribly. But I can't imagine what it was like the first time you heard the Prodigy.
What a band. I can't remember the first time I heard them, but, you know, they played with us at Nebworth, didn't they? It was just like, wow, mind-blowing. Absolutely, like, wow. Yeah. Wow, you know, that's one gig I wished I was out in the crowd watching it from the front, not the side of the stage. It was just incredible, you know.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. And tragic, obviously, with Keith Flint a few years ago.
Well, I was just going to say, with Keith was punk rock when he was just like, you know, he was a real punk rocker, I thought, in my eye. And what a voice and what a showman. But that was so sad. But yeah,
yeah, absolutely. That was during my show. I remember it was during my show when the message came through about Keith, and I had to announce it live on air. And the reaction from the list, people loved Keith, and they loved the Prodigy.
Yeah.
But they're still going, which is great news as well. They're carrying on. Right, it's 10:15. It is Bank Holiday Monday. Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Sorry, mate. I nearly missed out Boneheads there. Sorry, mate. Unbelievable. Forgot what I was for a moment.
I didn't.
The Prodigy, Breathe.
I'm watching you, Tarrant.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday Monday. The Prodigy, Breathe. Radio X, Monday, 10:20. And it is Bonehead's Bank Holiday. It's very important that I always say Bonehead when I mention Bank Holiday.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
Bonehead, we've had so many questions coming in for you. Let me get through a couple of ones quickly. Sammy wants to know, what's your protocol if there's a zombie apocalypse? What would you... Run.
Yeah, run!
They are always very slow, zombies.
You know, like, they're still, run!
Good, fair enough.
That's simple.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Chris wants to
stand here.
No, that's true.
Yeah, stand. No, I was going to swear then, but I didn't.
Yeah, well done.
Stand. No chance. Run!
Chris wants to know, is it true that Liam once set off a hotel's fire alarm system when he tried to heat up a naan bread in a trouser press?
Probably, but I'm not going to lie. But I'll tell you what he did do, aided and abetted by my good self once, was in the Four Seasons Hotel in Milan. Really posh, you know, it was out up there, upscale hotel. And we came in at like 3 in the morning, and we just thought it'd be a great idea. And we got off at our floor in the lift. There was all these whole line of fire extinguishers, you know, the powder type. And we're like, should we just let one off? Yeah, we'll just let one off. Go on, do it. So it's like, psh, and this powder come out, a really fine white powder. It was like fog. And we were like, that was really good. Should we go up every floor and let every fire... Yeah, let's do it. So we let every fire extinguisher off on every floor of the Four Seasons. And when I say posh hotel, you know, the Four Seasons Milan is posh. It's like upmarket guests. We were in there and we let every fire extinguisher... So that was like 3 o'clock. So we went to bed. That was great, wasn't it? Yeah, top. Right, see you tomorrow. All right, bye. And we went to bed. And then we got, you know... My phone went in the hotel room and Liam's went. It was our tour manager, Maggie, God bless her. She was only about 20 years of age and she was the best tour manager ever, still is. And she rang and she goes, what have you done? We're like, what? And next thing, this alarm went off. Everybody evacuate the building now. So we all got out and we're like, oh God, what's happening? We got out and we're in the car park with every guest in dressing gowns, sleepy eyed, but everybody had white hair, white eyebrows, white eyelashes. And apparently this fire extinguisher, the fine white powder, had seeped under every bedroom's door. And it had seeped under and it sort of settled on all these sleeping guests. So then it was like, but it also set the smoke alarms off. So the alarms are going off. Everyone had to evacuate. Everyone had white hair, white eyebrows, white nails. Everyone was white. So when you talk about zombie apocalypse, I've been there. We stood. We got fined a lot of money for that. The cleaning bill was astronomical, and to this day we're still banned from the Four Seasons.
Oh, if you're listening, Four Seasons in Milan. If you're listening,
sorry, apologise.
Yeah, they apologise.
It was fun. It was good fun.
And let them back in, guys. Let them back in.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio.
Nearly 10:30. Oasis, roll with it. If you've just tuned in, it's Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
Bonehead, so many questions coming in today. You've probably been asked this one a billion times, but you'll now be asked it 1,000,001 times because Ewan in Dunfermline in Scotland wants to know your favourite Oasis song ever.
Controversial one again, but I've heard a lot of people know it anyway. It's Columbia.
Really?
And everyone's like, what, Columbia? Really? And I know there's 1,000,001 that you could pick that are more anthemic or more this or more that or lyrically this or, you know, but it's Columbia.
Really?
And yeah, and it always has been. Liam knows that he's dropped it in the set lately when on his solo shows. It's done my head in. So if he don't put it in the set this coming summer, I might refuse to go out with him. Might sack him. Might give Noel a ring. Noel, would you play Columbia? If he says yeah, I'm in.
There you go,
no,
Noel.
I'm joking. No, it's Columbia. It's definitely Columbia. And I don't know why. It's just because it's like his hypnotic groove. It could have been a dance track for me.
Yeah.
It really could. And it's only 3 chords. Just a relentless loop of 3 chords, and just the whole thing is just a groove, isn't it? It's just I love it, and I love playing it live. It's just I get sort of lost in that one.
I thought you were going to say, I've heard you talk about Columbia before, I thought you were going to say Champagne Supernova, because what's the story about? You cried the first time that you heard that?
Yeah, and I physically cried, yeah. I think we were on a tour bus in the middle of an American tour, so we were just bombing around America doing these arenas, whatever it was we were doing at the time, and again, Noel was like, I'll play you a couple of songs that I've written for the next album. I think he played us the next album, you know, but he was like, right, go on then. And the first one he did was Champagne Supernova from start to finish in the back lounge of the tour bus at like 8 o'clock in the evening. And I just fell apart, you know. It was like, again, Cancerian in me. But I was just like, it hit me again. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Play that one again, and he did, and I was just like blubbering wreck on the floor. It's just like wow.
And when you hear that track for the first time, when you hear tracks like that, you must be like, well, great, well, this is a hit, this is going to be huge. You just must know straight away of a track.
Well, I heard it really stripped down. It was just Noel's voice and an acoustic guitar, which is, you know, sort of a million miles away from how it came out, you know. But yeah, of course you knew.
Yeah.
You knew as soon as you heard him do it. Like I said, again, I was that fan in front of Noel hearing it for the first time, you know. It was like, wow,
that's so cool.
It's
cool.
too much.
Also, I've had a question in here from Chris who wants to know what your favourite crisps are.
Favourite crisps? Well, it used to be pickled onion Monster Munch. Now, since me going through cancer and everything, I can't eat crisps. Can you believe that?
Oh,
certain things can't eat.
really?
I've got, getting, without giving you my cancer diaries, but I've hardly got any saliva glands now, so everything's really dry and really things are difficult to eat. And crisps are one of them. Like, nope, can't do that. I won't swallow them. So, whoa, so I'm gutted. But anything cheese and onion, Tato cheese and onion.
Yeah.
You know, the Irish ones.
If you're listening now, they'll send you about 1,000 baskets that you can't eat, I'd imagine.
Didn't Tato do some Liam Gallagher ones?
Did they?
Liam Gallagher flavoured. Yeah, they did.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's when you know you've made it, when they start naming crisps after you.
I mean, last time we played, or I played in Ireland with Liam, or one of the times, only a couple of years ago, I think we did a gig in Belfast and one in Dublin, and he got sent a massive box of Tato cheese and onion crisps. Massive box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hundreds of packets. He just got like, my mum said, I got none. Got it.
Unbelievable.
Perks of the job for Liam, he gets all the Tatos.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, anything cheese and onion. Love them.
There we go. Good question, Chris. There we go. I love the fact that you had a chance to ask Bonehead any question in the world, and you've asked what his favourite crisps are. Now, I'm about to play a track by Happy Mondays that I don't think I've played on Radio X before, Rope for Luck, which is great, and I'm going to get that on in just a sec. But I've got to ask you, have you been approached at all to join this super group of Shaun Ryder's Mantra of the Cosmos?
I only found out the other day.
Oh, you must be livid.
I only found out the other day, and I don't want to be in a band with Sean Ryder and Bez. No, too old for that nonsense.
Can you imagine?
No, I can imagine, yeah. Thanks, but no, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I'm washing my hair. I can't even say that, can I? Busy.
It's Sean Ryder, it's Bez, it's Andy Bell.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant, isn't it? I only saw it because, obviously I know them all, but I just saw Zach's Instagram the other day. It's like, hey, it's coming. You know, whatever it's called, of the Cosmos, and it was like a clip, and there was clips of Andy and Sean and Bez and Zach, and it's like, what? What's this? But to be on I'm intrigued.
To be a fly on the wall for.
Are they doing Glastonbury? I think they are. Are
they?
Yeah.
Happy days. That's going to be an interesting tour, that, isn't it? And so, for all the Happy Mondays tracks, you chose Rope for Luck. Just love it.
Love it. Yeah, it's just another one. It's just sort of brings back songs bring back a memory, don't they? A bit of a Manchester memory, really. It's like I think we've got to see the Roses in Spike Island. I'm sure it was then Rope for Luck was out, wasn't it, when they did Spike Island?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I had this old battered pickup truck I was plastering at the time, and I got about 20 lads in the back and about 40 cans of beer, and off we went, and we all slept in the back of this pickup truck outside of Spike Island, drove in there the next morning, camped up and watched the gig. But the theme song all the way down on a loop was Rope for Luck to Spike Island, loud in the back, with these huge big speakers, and it was great. So.
Great choice. Yeah, Bonehead's picked a load of tracks for us this morning, and this is the next one on the list. Happy Mondays, Rope for Luck on Radio X2. Happy Mondays, Rope for Luck on Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
Thank you so much for all your questions, by the way. We've had thousands coming in over the last week or so. I can't believe it's 10:40 already. It's flying by, Bonehead. It's flying by. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Genuinely, the reaction as soon as we announced this last week was so lovely because, that sounds silly, people have heard from Liam and Noel loads over the years. I think the reaction to the Bonehead's Bank Holiday has been great. So thank you everyone that's been getting their questions in over the last week or so. So I've got another question that was recorded on WhatsApp here. Now, with your Irish roots, Cathaa, Cathal?
Cahill.
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 Cahill. Cahill. So Cahill has asked you this.
I was wondering if you ever had to break up a fight between Noel and Liam. When was the first one you had to break up? What happened?
Did you ever have to break up a fight between Noel and Liam?
I was just debating him there as Cahill had about 16 pints there. And I didn't quite get the question. I was like, he's had about 16 pints, Cahill.
I think he's had do you want to have a look?
What was it again? Go again.
I was wondering if you ever had to break up a fight between Noel and Liam.
It does sound levered.
It's all about the fight, isn't it? He's definitely had about 16.
What happened?
What happened?
I've probably broke up several. Yeah, I used to always jump in. Yeah, come on, let's have it in a fight. I used to love it. It's like, I wonder if we'll have a fight tonight. Can't wait. Yeah, there was some gutted when they didn't. You know what I mean? We had a spectacular once in there. Where did we go? New Zealand. First and only time we went. And we were on stage, and the dressing room was actually to my right. There was a couple of steps down off the stage, and then there was this dressing room. You just straight in, you could see it was there 20 feet away. And there was a big, tall standard lamp. It was great. It was sort of an orange frilly shade on it. And I don't know what happened in the show, but I think we were in Auckland, and Liam just stormed off. He said something to Noel. He stormed off and he ran in the dressing room. But that's like par for the course. There's an Oasis gig. Like, be back in a minute. Be right. Noel will take over the vocal duties. But he didn't. Noel put his guitar down and stormed off stage too. So Griggs looked at me, what do we do on that, Bonehead? You know what I mean? They both got off. You know what I mean? We're not that good, are we? What are we going to do? And I was like, Griggs, don't panic. You know, it's like, do not panic. And I looked at Alan White's just being a pro. It's like, Griggs, Bonehead, man, do we keep playing or what? I'm like, just keep playing a loop, you know what I mean? Keep doing it. I don't know what the tune was. It could have been supersonic. It's just like 3 chords, mate. Just do the foot, yeah. And I'll watch that room. And I'm looking, and I seen the manager Marcus running. I was like, oh, it's definitely going off. The next thing, this gorgeous orange standard lamp, which I had my eye on, I thought, that's coming home with me, that. I'm going to nick it. It looked great in my house. It just come flying across. And I just, I didn't hear, but I could see, like, smash, bang, and the light went off. I was like, oh, no, someone just got the standard lamp on the head. It was a mass brawl. Well, I say mass brawl. It was Liam and Noel. I had a great fight, but I wasn't allowed to jump in with that one because I had to keep the ball rolling on stage. Like, come on, Griggs, keep it going. Griggs is like sweating buckets. Bonehead on that, my head's going here. What's happening? And I was like, will someone just tell me to pull the plug? And then, of course, the tour manager's like, doing the, slitting the throat thing. Get off stage now, quick, leave it. So off we went. And I didn't jump into that one. That was spectacular. That was a good one. But then we got back to the hotel, and it was always like, don't sit in the bar with Liam. Don't encourage him, right? Everybody say they go to bed, right? So then Liam will go to bed, and then the fight will not carry on. It's like, oh, this is serious, isn't it? As soon as you go on, I'd like, what a pint, Liam, or what? Should we have a pint? Because Noel was still at the venue, chained to the floor, like a bulldog, He's like, right, let's get Liam home to bed, then we'll get Noel back to the that was their plan. I got Liam in a bar, so of course it was like 16 pints in. But I think he'd been on the beer all day. That was a good one. Anyway, yeah, the answer, Kyle, was several fights. That was one I'd love to jump in now. I couldn't. I had to keep it going for Quiggs's health. Bonehead, man. I don't know what to do.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X. Radio
X. Bank Holiday Monday with motors.co.uk.
Cast fight time, Radio X. Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Bonehead's Bank Holiday.
Radio X.
Only 10 minutes left, Bonehead. I can't believe it.
I can't believe that. Should we do another hour? Who's on next? We'll just get them off.
Yeah, but Polly, as long as she gets paid, she'll be fine with it.
Polly?
Yeah, Polly's on the way next.
Don't mind.
Polly, you don't mind if we do another hour, do you? Well, I think, the petition starts here for same time next year, Bonehead, I've got to say.
Yeah.
We've got to, haven't we? We've got to be done.
Yeah.
Let me try and get through a couple of quick questions. Charlotte says, all right, Bonehead, I'm going to Manchester Uni soon, so I've been dying to ask, what's the best pub in Manchester?
Oh, you know what? I don't go out in Manchester. Well, I don't drink. I gave up drinking about 10 years ago. It's not to say I won't go in a pub. I didn't give up drinking because, it's like beer's dangerous for me. I just gave it up. But the best pub in Manchester, I don't know. I wouldn't know, because the last time I went in a pub in Manchester must have been 20 years ago, probably. I used to go in a pub in Castlefield called Duke's, and it used to be great then. Duke's 92, I think it was called. We actually used to go in there after rehearsals. I think I opened in 1992. That's why it's called Duke's 92. Whether it's still there, I don't know. That was great. I don't know. Great pubs in Manchester.
There's plenty, to be fair.
Sure.
Don't worry, Charlotte. I was in Manchester the other weekend. There's no shortage.
Where'd you go? The Northern Quarter?
Northern Quarter I normally end up in if I end up in
totally
Manchester.
Asking the wrong person. It's like if you ask me what club, I say, I don't know. I don't go to pubs. I don't go to clubs.
Another question here. Bonehead, have you ever seen a ghost?
Yeah.
Where? Where? What? Why?
Where? What?
How?
Why? I'll tell you what. You're going to need about another 10 minutes for this one. This was great, this one.
I'm ready.
It's a real ghost story.
I'm ready.
Here's the thing. When I was about 3 or 4, maybe 4, I don't think it was at school, so maybe 3 or 4, I shared a bedroom. Where I was born was an area of Manchester called Longsight. It's before I moved up to 11 June Burnage, which is where sort of Oasis and Liam and Noel and Quiggs and everyone and Tony were originally from. I lived in this area called Longsight, a few miles away from there. Anyway, it was a big row of terraced houses, big terraced houses, they were huge. And I shared a brother with my bedroom.
You shared a brother with your bedroom?
Yeah, I shared a brother with my bedroom. You get it? Just making sure you're listening, that's all. So he's listening, right? So I shared a room with my brother, and he was like, whatever, 5 years older. He wasn't there. I was in bed early because I was like the 3-4-year-old. And the room was really dark, but at the bottom of the bed, just about 4 feet in from the bottom of the bed, this guy, all in black with a big black top hat, came in the dark. Even though the room was dark and he was all black, I could see him, if that makes sense. I could see the black against the black. And I wasn't scared. I just thought, oh, it's a guy dressed in black with like a really old-fashioned Victorian suit on, if you can imagine, with a high top hat. And he came in and he stood at the bottom of the bed, and he had no face. He was all black like a silhouette, and he was looking at me. And I was just like, whatever. I wasn't scared. No, for some reason I wasn't scared. And I didn't say anything. And I didn't say anything to my parents, or I didn't say anything to my brother, and I didn't say anything for years and years and years. Now, we had an Irish family next door to us called the Conlons, right? I remember the name, Conlons, Mrs. Conlon. She used to, one of the spare bedrooms in her house, she let out to lodgers to earn a bit of extra money. And she got this guy in, and he was all right, but he had his own key to his bedroom. He would never let her come in to clean the bedroom, right? Ever. And she was like, I must clean the bedroom. No, it's all right, it's fine. After he left, she went in to clean the bedroom, and she found a Ouija board, right? But there was all manner of weird things happening in her house. I didn't know at the time because I was too young, but years and years and years later, I was like 16, my mum was telling me this story. They had to get the priest in to bless his house because this guy was doing Ouija boards and there was ghosts and they were getting all ghostly things happening. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I said, what kind of ghost? She goes, well, primarily this guy, he was like a black silhouette with a black top hat, he used to come up and down the stairs, go through his bedroom, which shared a wall between mine and his, right, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I was like, no way, Mum. She's
I've
like,
seen
yeah.
that guy.
She's like, why? Yeah. I saw him when I was like 4. And my mum was like, Jesus Christ, why didn't you tell me? I'd got the priest in and we couldn't. And I was like, yeah, but no one asked me. And it didn't scare me. And she's like, even so, we could have got the priest and the house would have been haunted and bled. And I got battered for it, for not telling her. I was like, oh, God, yeah, come on, Mum. So, yeah. I saw a ghost. Sorry.
No, it's a great question. It's a great question, a great answer. We have to finish this show. There's only one way we can finish this, with a song that is the reason that you were here with us this morning.
Yeah. Might as well.
Yeah, we probably should have done. We're going to finish, of course, with a fan favourite from Oasis, Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Bonehead, I've absolutely loved this morning, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's
so
been
thank you
good
for
fun.
coming
Do you want
in.
me to sing along live?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, mate. Well, you were meant to sing this originally.
As per the original.
But you were too drunk to sing it, weren't you?
Absolutely, of course I was.
There'll be people that have probably never heard the chat. The Oasis mega fans will love it, but this might be the first time you've heard this.
Should have been number one.
Holiday should have been number one on Best of British.
Stuart's Inquiry.
Radio.
Forever rubbish.